just come off of a hard week at the Sabine River tournament. Now that you're at Grosse, have you had a chance to take a deep breath and relax a little bit?
Well, you know, we just showed up today, so I'm ready to get out there.
So back to the Sabine tournament. You had a good finish, top 25. What were you, 20, 21, 22?
22nd, I believe.
22nd?
Yeah.
So you got a check. That's got to be a good feeling.
You know what? Anytime you can get a check on the elites is a big deal. I mean, you got to get a check to survive. Nobody likes going to work all week and not getting paid.
And for people that don't really follow Bass, to get a check, you got to be in the
top 50 gets a $10,000 check, and I believe from 13th up, it gets up a little higher. You know, naturally, till you, if you're gonna win and get 100,000. And bass fishing to me is all mental. If you get your head screwed up, it's hard to get out of it. So finally, at the last event, not the Sabine but Lake Travis, I was just like, you know what? You just got to go do your deal, slow down.
What people don't really realize is they see you on stage, they see you running around in a wrap boat, living the dream, but they really don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. And you guys actually pay an entry fee to participate in a tournament that you got to try to win to earn a check to make a living.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the public realizes the stress that puts you on. And you talked about the mental game behind it. It's got to be tough. You're away from your family, or in your case, yours travels with you, but you're never home. You're on the road, and you got, what, 8 tournaments to make it happen?
I basically left home in February and haven't been home for any amount of time since then. And here we are already into June. I got buddies at home that call and say, hey, dude, I just went by your house. Looks like you're in foreclosure. Somebody gonna come cut your grass? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if we are at home for any amount of time, it may be a week at a time, get to cut grass, make sure things are taken care of, and then we're back on the road. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed that my family gets to travel with me. We drive an RV and we camp, and the kids are homeschooled, because there's no way that I could do this if they were at home. You know, my son is 6, my daughter's 9. I don't want to miss them growing up. And I definitely wouldn't want to get that phone call of, hey, Dad, when you coming home? I think they need to go to school and stuff here when they get, I say that. I mean, as crazy as the world is nowadays, but I think they need to go to school and maybe hard knocks kind of thing, you know what I mean? But right now, like I said, I'm blessed that we get to run all over the country. And like my daughter, she's 9, and she's been to every state in the U.S. except for like 3. And that'd be the northern states like Maine, places like that where we don't ever go for an event. They're getting to make memories that they'll remember forever, you know. But you talked about the emotional side of this, and it's like an emotional roller coaster ride.
Watching the weigh-in at Lake Travis, your voice cracked on stage, you know, and you had made a check, first one this year, and I don't know if everybody caught it, but the guys that know the business know that means a lot to you guys, and it's a big deal when you do make that check.
You know, you got to get checks. I mean, some of the guys are fortunate to have 6-figure contracts and things like that. I've always had to bust my butt for everything I got. You know what I mean? Before I did this full time, I was a flooring contractor, so I know what it's like to work hard. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to bust your butt day in, day out, make money to pay the bills.
So in perspective, you as an elite pro, I would think your 3 goals are: number 1, make a check, make a living; number 2, you probably want to qualify for the Classic, and I would think the other would be the Angler of the Year competition. Is that kind of how you rationalize the year?
Before I start the year, my whole goal was just to make the Classic. And in my whole career, I've always had to fish for that check. You know what I mean? I've never had the luxury to be able to swing for the fence, or however you want to say that. I can't take that risk because I need that check to survive. And you mentioned about my voice cracking on stage, and people don't realize how small of an error you have here in fishing. I mean, one bite, I'm talking one bite. You look at the first 3 events we had, and I missed them by ounces. Every event I had the fish on to make the cut. So we're talking about, I'm 55th in Angler of the Year points right now, where I should be maybe in the top 20, simply by one fish. By losing one fish in each event makes all the difference in the world. Here at the Sabine River yesterday, I had a 3-pound fish on, and it came off. If I catch that fish, I'm in the top 12. I came into this with the thought of, basically, it goes back to growing up. You know, when I was growing up, somebody always took time out of their schedule, whether it was my dad, uncles, friends, to take me hunting, fishing, whatever. You know what I mean? Did they have to do that? Absolutely not. But they took their time out, kind of like a mentor, if you want to say. Taught me about deer hunting, waterfowl hunting, turkey hunting, crappie fishing, whatever it may be. But somebody was always like stepping up to the plate to show me that, right? So when I got the opportunity to do this, I looked at the thing as a whole and said, you know what? I don't want to be the best angler in the world. I mean, because they always say, hey, you guys are the elites, you are the best anglers in the world. But my whole goal was just to be the best ambassador for the sport that we could, that I could. I looked at it as, if the people that were in my life wouldn't have stepped up and did what they did, you and I wouldn't be sitting here talking today. So if there's ever a function, whether it be weigh-ins, media events, whatever it is, where if I'm going to Dick's Sporting Goods or Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop, whatever it may be, I try to be the first guy there and the last guy to leave. Because I look at, if I got the opportunity to teach somebody something that they may never get an opportunity, I'm going to take full advantage of it. I've
heard the phrase used, you're like a jukebox, you know, whoever puts the coin in is the song you're going to play. But in your case with Xpress Boats, you really believe in it. That's your deal. You want to be an aluminum boat.
You know what? I even hate to say it's an aluminum boat, because the performance isn't what people think when they think of an aluminum boat. I would bet anybody everything I own that if I put you in that boat and blindfold you, when you get out, you'd have no idea that you was in an aluminum boat. This is our fourth, fifth event, I don't know what it is. Every single marshal that gets out of that boat is absolutely amazed. I've not had a single one say, well, I don't like this or I don't like that. They get out of there chattering like chipmunks, because they're just like, there's no way this thing's made out of aluminum. And that's the same way I felt the very first test ride I went on. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this thing's absolutely amazing. So it was easy for me. And look, I'll be honest with you, I had questions, concerns. How's it going to handle rough water? How's it going to fish in the wind? I mean, look, my career is on the line. If I'm not in something that I can believe in or that I think is going to perform, I mean, let's just say, for example, we're on a big giant river system. It's going to be rough. I got to make 60, 70, 80 mile runs. If I'm putting myself in a situation where I can't do that or I can't perform, that's stupid. That'd be dumb on my part. So I had all them concerns. How is this boat going to perform after being in it for 5 events? I'd drive the sucker across the ocean if I had to. No concerns whatsoever.
I follow some of the elite event as much as I can on social media, and during practice at the SABINE tournament, I can't ever remember seeing more boats beached. Seems like everybody was posting a rescue mission, pulling guys off of mud flats. Did you have any of those issues in your boat, getting stuck anywhere?
No, because I tend to pay attention to what I'm doing. This event was so much different because we were all forced to fish in such a confined area, with us not being able to go to Louisiana, which I've never fished out of Orange, Texas, and fished on the Texas side. I've always fished in Louisiana. So it was like basically starting all over. I'm here to tell you, if you get stuck in an Xpress boat, you've done something bad wrong. Because there was places this week that I went that I know of 6 or 8 guys that tried to get in the area but they got stuck. And yeah, I had to fight my way in, but I got in and I got out and never had any issues. When them guys are having to get out of their boat and wade in the water and things like that, going back to the boat, the performance side, like I said, is never, it's not an issue at all. But then I look at the benefits of what I can do now that I couldn't do in the past. You know, being able to access areas like that, being able to float shallower, and get in places that maybe nobody else can get.
Yeah, I think another misconception of the public when it comes to elite life, if you want to call it that, is they think when you're not fishing, you're off. You know, if you're not at a tournament, you're off running around having fun, but that's not the case. I mean, you just rattled off a whole list of sponsors that you actually have obligations to those guys when you're not in a tournament, and won't you elaborate on some of that?
It is a non-stop, every day, daylight to dark. You know, let's just look at it like this. We left from Lake Travis, which was in Austin, Texas, I believe. We left from there, drove our camper over here to Orange, Texas, parked it, went home for 3 days, 4 days to take care of some business.
Which is Indiana.
18 hours away. Turned around, drove straight back here to start practicing for our event. Just spent a week over there in 100-degree weather. The biggest deer flies I've ever seen in my life. Everything over there wants to eat you, bite you, take you out. You know what I mean? So we left from there, come here to Grosse, Savanne, to go catch a bunch of fish and have a good time and hang out with a bunch of friends. We leave right from here and head to La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is 22 hours from here, right? We'll drop the boat and trailer and head over to Johnson Outdoors for a pro staff meeting with, about Minn Kota, Humminbird, Talon, things like that. Come back from Minnesota to La Crosse, do our event there, right? And then leave straight from there, drive to South Dakota for our next event. Turn around from South Dakota, go home for a little bit, have to go to ICAST. ICAST is for the people that don't know. If you're somebody in the fishing industry, tackle, rods, reels, line, they'll be there, and you got to go there and work for all your sponsors. And typically for me, everyone that I'm involved with is going to be there. And then we'll leave from there and head to the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland and then St. Lawrence River in New York. So it's nonstop all the time. Everybody always says, man, you got the best job in the world. You know what? And it is the best job in the world. It never feels like you're going to work every day. But at the end of the day, it's the toughest thing I've ever had to do.
I respect you guys. Now that I've gotten to know you, a lot of guys behind the scenes, it's amazing what y'all do. You probably burn up the blacktop more than you do the water.
I do, and I'm good when we just keep going. And what kills me is if we are go, and then we stop. We throw, let's say we throw a 2 or 3 week break in there. That just
kills your momentum.
Just kills me, takes me out. It just drains you, because you're so used to go. 4 o'clock in the morning, you get up, typically 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you're going to bed.
In your case, there's been a lot of talk about you had interaction with another angler competing for same waters. How did that affect your game? Did you see a difference after that incident for the rest of the tournament, or was you able to block that out and just move forward?
Typically for me, that would have just ruined me. I'm the guy on the water that doesn't want to have any confrontation with anybody. And always in my career, I've always just kind of been that guy. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to get out of here. I'll go somewhere else and catch me some fish. And that hurts me. Why should I have to leave my area because somebody else has got an issue? And my wife, I got to give it to her. She's always on me like, why are you doing this? Why are you leaving? Why are you not sticking to your guns? I'll be honest with you. After that confrontation went down, I was leaving. I was done. I'm not going to put up with this. I'll go somewhere else. And I got on the trolling motor, started getting out of there, and I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. My best opportunity to get paid is right here, and I'm staying, and I'm not leaving, and I'm just going to do what I do. For me, it was a turning point because typically, like I said, I'd have left. Just because I don't want that reputation of, dude, he's a jerk, or however you want to word it. If somebody can't get along with me, they can't get along with anybody.
Actually, it hadn't been your best year this year. You kind of got off to a slow start.
This is my worst start ever. Do I feel like I'm putting any pressure on myself? Probably. I'm in a new boat this year, new Xpress boat. It's phenomenal. I feel like I'm putting extra pressure on myself to do good, but I've kind of eased off on myself these last couple events. And it showed because I've done good in the standings and have had 2 good events. And here's what's so cool about what's been going on with the people over at Xpress Boats. And you guys have had them here for a while, correct?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I've never been involved with a boat company where they'll call you at the end of an event or even during practice or just whatever to just check up on you, see how you're doing. But it makes you feel really important. Makes me want to go that extra mile, do whatever we got to do to,
So how long have you been on the Elite Series now?
This will be my 12th year full time where I do nothing but fish.
What do you envision yourself doing in 5, 10, 15 years from now? Is this something you want to continue to do, or?
Well, I'm so far in now, I don't have a choice, and I get asked that a lot.
That's another thing. They don't have a retirement plan for you guys.
That's exactly right.
That's got to be a big issue with you.
It is an issue, and I've said from day one when I started this, I always hear everybody say, I want to be the best angler in the world, blah, blah, blah. I want to be the next KVD, whatever. And I never came into this thinking that I was going to be the next Kevin Van Dam.
Yeah, we all like fishing, and but when you gotta go, it's a whole nother perspective on it. Same way with the guide life, when you gotta show up to the dock and you gotta produce and you gotta go, it's not as enjoyable anymore, although it's still fun.
Right.
We wouldn't do it if we didn't want to do it, but it takes on a whole nother perspective when your life depends on it.
Yeah, I'd say if I didn't fish professionally and I had my choice of what I could do, boy, because it sure wouldn't want to be going back and getting on the floor, because I know my knees couldn't handle it anymore. I think I'd like to guide, going back to growing up as a kid and people, I would love to have the opportunity to take people, teach them, not necessarily take people that have fished their whole life. I'm talking about the newbies, the new kids coming up, and just be able to share the knowledge with them that we have.
How important are you fans? Do you keep up with all that? I know everybody's got to have social media page, everybody got to have a web page. Do you pay attention to how many people follow you?
I pay attention to all that every night before I go to bed. I get on there. If people are commenting, whatever, I make sure I go in there and like everybody's post, whatever, try to interact, answer all the questions. They're your fans. And how cool is it, like, if somebody put a message on there, let's just say you want to put a message on there and you don't know me at all, right? You may live in California, but they know, hey, Bill Lowen is known for swimming a jig, swim jig fishing. Man, I have a question about swim jig. I'm gonna send him a message, right? So how cool is that if he sends me a message and I answer him back? I'd say a lot of times when they send messages, they don't get any response. I kind of feel like it's my obligation, not only for myself and my fans, but even for my sponsors, to try to answer all of them.
You talked about being part of your sponsors and believing in them, and obviously you feel strong about Xpress Boats, and a lot of times the only chance you get to thank some of your sponsors are when you're walking across stage weighing your fish in, and that they only give you a few minutes and then you got to move on. Is there any other sponsors that we haven't touched on tonight that just really play a big role in what you do?
Naturally, they're all going to play a big role, and I just keep going back to using products that you believe in, that are reliable, you don't have to worry about, the electronics, the trolling motor, the boat, the motor, and this year's been huge. It's just been a big giant change for me, With the boat, I stayed with Yamaha outboards, been with them forever for the reliability. I've always run a Minn Kota trolling motor, basically since day one on the Elites. And this would be the very first year for me that I've had the total package, Minn Kota trolling motor, talons, Humminbird electronics, and to have all that as a total package is it's a huge relief. Not only to know that it's all together, it's all under the same umbrella, Johnson Outdoors, and to not have to worry about, are my electronics going to fail? Are my talons going to fail? Is my trolling motor going to fail? No, I'm using products that I believe in, and to have that all in one is huge. You got to use stuff that you believe in, without a doubt.
You're different in a sense with a lot of pros, is you've got a sponsor that's not necessarily a fishing product, Buck Knives. They've been with you a while too.
Since day one, I've always tried to do things a little different than the rest of the anglers are doing. Let's face it, the fishing industry is beat up. They've been taken advantage of so many times. What I hate is always when people are going after sponsors, it's always, hey, what can you do for me? It'd be like me coming here and saying, hey, I'd like to be involved with Grosse, Savanne, or, I'd like y'all to sponsor me. What can you do for me? And I've never looked at it like that. I've always, and I still to this day, I'll do stuff to kind of show a company that I'm serious or that I do use their products. And I take baby steps instead of asking for the full package right out of the gate. I was always brought up, you get what you work for. It was never, oh, hey, here's your free boat, or here's your trolling motor, here's all your free rods, here's all your reels, here's all this stuff. And I was brought up, you bust your butt, you work, you do your job, and you move up the ladder. And that's kind of how I've been my whole career. And you talked about, the hunting stuff and things like that. I'm a huge deer hunter, turkey, waterfowl. And like I said, the fishing industry's kind of beat up. So I've kind of tried to go that route. Kind of for a while there was known as the fisherman that's the hunter because of Buck Knives and some of the other hunting sponsors that I had. You know, and that kind of even goes into the waterfowl side with the Yamaha motor. All my duck boats have always had Yamahas on them. Run flawlessly. I don't care if it's 0 degrees out or whatever it may be. You know, because up there where I live, it gets way cold. You guys aren't used to that down here. If you get a little skim ice, you guys are freaking out. Up there where I'm at, we take them 20-footers, lay them up on the ice, and everybody jumps up and down at them to get it to break through. You know what I mean? So if you ever want to come up there and experience that, you should come up. But you don't even own a coat to come up there and hunt.
I couldn't handle it.
And another cool deal this year is Drake waterfowl. You know what I mean? I've wore Drake waterfowl apparel as long as I can remember. And I've been very fortunate and again blessed to become part of that family at Drake. And they got some amazing stuff coming. Drake fishing. And when they told me that, I was like, only makes sense. I mean, if you make the best waterfowl gear, I believe, in the industry, and they're going to get into the fishing side of it, how cool is that going to be? Rain suits, you know, sun shirts, performance shirts that you're going to wear out there, buffs, whatever you're going to need to go out there and fish. So I'm excited. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Yeah, it's good to hear.
It's going to be a cool deal.
So you've always been associated with Yamaha. That's been your engine for all of your boats.
Yeah, I've been with Yamaha basically since day one of the Elites. I run a Yamaha a couple years prior to that, and then got to the Elites. And, you know, typically when you get to the Elites, I don't want to say things come easy sponsorship-wise, because they don't. But that's kind of when I got, you know, on the Yamaha Pro Fishing, however you want to word that, that I actually was a Yamaha Pro. And that's been 12 years now, going on 13 years.
I would think that would be an advantage too, with Xpress being paired with Yamaha. I know those guys, the Yamaha guys, are always at the factory trying to make an Xpress boat perform better and trying them out, running them on the water. So I would think that would be an advantage to you as a pro on the water, knowing that those guys are trying to pair your brand of engine with the boat you're running.
Absolutely. I mean, how cool is it that every Xpress boat that goes out the door has a Yamaha hanging on it? And I've said this a million times, I want to run products on the tour that are going to be reliable. Boats, motors, trolling motors, electronics, whatever it may be. We don't have the luxury of going out there and something breaking down. In the 12 years that I run a Yamaha, now this is HPDIs, SHOs, all that. In the 12 years, I've never had a mechanical issue with the motor unless I've done it myself. Prop shaft, you know, hit something, tear a gear case up, things like that.
I can agree with that because, you know, 17 years here at Grosse, Savanne, we've tried multiple brands of motors, and you know how much motors.
I've seen y'all are animals.
And look, the last few years, knock on wood, our Yamaha's zero issues. You know, it's been impressive to see how much low maintenance there is, which in your case, you know, you don't have a shop available right around the corner to run to, although at a tournament they come to help.
Right.
Repair shop.
Right.
But you don't need to be running back and forth back to your dealer and getting things repaired. And so that would be a huge deal for you to just keep running and not have to worry about it.
It is, without a doubt. And like I said, and if 12 years, now look, I run my stuff hard. I don't by no means try to tear it up. But in 12 years, if you've not had a mechanical issue, I mean, that's saying something. There'll be times when I come in off the water and drive over to the Yamaha trailer, right? Pull up in front of the trailer, and they'll get up out of their chair and walk outside and be like, "What do you need?" And I'll say, "Nothing. I just want to make you get up out of your chair, take off, and go to the camper." You know, so to be able to have that, you know, house reliability starts here, and that's Yamaha's slogan. But to be able to know you're just gonna put gas in it, keep the oil changed, and go, and you're gonna come back and not have any issues, that's huge. You never want to think, "Hey, I'm gonna make a 100-mile run. Am I going to make it back?" You don't even think about that. You just go.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know the guys at Yamaha. That's what you're here today, and we got a couple of them here at Grosse Savanne tonight and tomorrow. That's what we're going to get out and try to rip some lips.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly thankful that we've been able to cross paths. I know you and I have done a few things. We got a chance to duck hunt together in Arkansas last year, and we got to fish Kentucky Lake here a while back, and so now you get to come on my home turf and enjoy some of Grosse Savanne and catch some fish. Maybe you can get some revenge from not catching a whole lot on the SABINE. So,
well, it won't take much. You know what I mean? I caught enough 13 inchers over there. If I catch a 3-pounder here, it's going to look like a 10-pounder.
I think we can do that.
I think we can.
Seriously, right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't just, this is nothing.
Really? I'm hiding with one.
Just another chunk.
Well, I'm feeling one. One or the other.
I only brought one pack.
One pack.
That's it for me.
It's gonna be a long day, boys.